Welcome to Moon Harbor Heroes. Today's issue is Faces, issue 30. Goodbye. On the cover, Faye, Ryder, Asimov, and Lighthammer stand tall together in the center of a field of solid white. Rising behind them are translucent images of Carl in all his forms. Swarm of insects, ball of flame, blue energy, golem, all smiling Carl's signature smile. We turn the page and our story begins. Our first panel is inside of a funeral parlor, and we see Bert standing over top a empty casket. And our next panel, we see him laying this bundle of files and thumb drive and all these different files into the coffin. And we get a close shot of them, and we see that they're all of the research papers that Bert had from his development of Carl. And then the last thing he puts in is this small vial that has a preserved queen bee on top of the files. And then he closes the lid, and our next panel opens at the actual funeral. I think we get an overhead shot, and we see this the coffin being lowered down to the ground. And how is everyone dressed here?
Faye is in a black pantsuit, like a black suit, black slacks, black shoes, black blazer over a white shirt. Her hair is worn like natural. It is no longer that like frizzy over the top hair. But one thing that is notable is that the pink that was in her hair has been cut out. It's just black hair now.
Brian?
I'm probably in costume. I don't think my identity has really been I don't think I've let that be revealed.
No, I don't think so. I think you're still safe, which is weird because you hung out with Max for a short time.
Yeah, but my costume is really just the mask. And so I could be wearing a nice whatever you would wear to a funeral.
It's like just a nice suit and then the mask.
Yeah.
And Felix.
I think at this point, Felix's identity is kind of well known, so he's not worried about costuming up. He's wearing a very traditional black suit with his hair tied back and rather traditional funeral attire.
Lighthammer is also there, and Lighthammer is in a very, very nice black suit. I know Bert has a lot of money, but I think like Lighthammer probably bought like a very massive thing of flowers.
Any money that Bert needed to supply flowers or anything, funeral arrangements, I think Felix would have provided with no issue.
And then we get a series of panels of various people walking up and laying flowers in the grave. We see Anagram in a like full black dress. I think it's the only time she's appeared in the comics not in a sundress. Outlet walks up in costume and lays some flowers down. And then we get like this heavy thumps on the panel as Captain Skizzy, the Minotaur space pirate, lays some very exotic looking flowers, definitely not from this world, on the ground. And I think from there he actually drops a tear into the grave. And then we see a raccoon run up, and Squire drops a bundle of flowers in and scampers off. And then if anyone wants this, like whatever order you all want, any scenes at the graveside, I'm gonna have Bert go last here.
I think I'll go first, because I'm pretty sure Faye's scene is going to be pretty dramatic in comparison to what I'm going to do. But Felix will step up to the coffin and place the original broken morpher, the phone morpher, into the bottom into the coffin, and then nod his head, close his eyes, and then walk away. And you see a tear roll down his face as he does.
I think Lighthammer is just walking with you. I don't think like Lighthammer gets his own scene. I think Lighthammer is just with you in that moment.
That sounds fair. Brian?
I go up with a thing of flowers. If you look more closely, you'll notice it is a empty mayonnaise jar being used as a vase. And I set it next to the coffin and stand there silently for a few seconds and then walk away.
After that, I walk up to the grave and I have a single pink rose. And I put the pink rose down and I I think we just see like a close up of Faye's silhouette and the grave like in front of her, like the Faye's profile silhouette and the grave in front of her, and she says, "I'm so sorry." And then I think we see like her face is pretty dark with just like tears running down it. Like we don't get a lot of expression on her face itself, just tears like running down her face. And then I think she goes and she walks over and just squeezes Felix's hand.
I think Felix would wrap his arm around Faye and bring her in, and I'm hoping Light would just understand.
I think when Alana like wraps her arm back around Felix, I think we see like Lighthammer put his hand like on her shoulder. Like I think it's the most sympathetic we've ever seen the two of them to each other.
And then we get a panel of Bert at the graveside, and he lays down this bundle of flowers. And I don't think we hear all of what he says. I think the part we just hear is, "I love you, son, and I'm proud of you." And then we get a panel of the gravestone, and it says Carl, and there's a engraving of a bee, and then 4 elemental symbols, and then the words, "They were many, and all the best of us." And I'm gonna hand the rest of this over to you all to whatever you need to do here.
I think when Bert like turns around, I think I just walk up and hug him.
We get this like really nice panel of this embrace, and he whispers into your ear, "Thank you for always being there for Carl. You meant everything to him."
I think I just like squeeze tighter. I don't think Faye has the ability to have words right now. She's pretty much just like fully sobbing.
That's fair.
I think the next scene would be Fee walking up, I think by himself at this point. He would let Lighthammer know, just hold on a minute. And he walks up to Bert and he would hand him a baseball glove, and he would look at him and say, "I always thought I'd be able to teach the boy to catch, but here." And he hands Bert the glove.
And Bert chuckles a little, that like holding back tears chuckle, and gives you a genuine smile and then a big hug. And then I think we get a panel of him pulling back and looking at the two of you and just, "If you ever need me, I'm here."
Faye nods. I don't think she's, again, not able to say words, but she gives him a nod.
As would Felix.
Does anyone else want anything out of this scene?
I think I'm going to look over at Felix, and I think like people are starting to leave now. And I want to look over and just kind of give Felix and Brian like a signal, be like, "Hey, I'll meet up with you in a second." And then I'm going to walk over to another part of this cemetery. But you can follow me or follow someone else. I don't really know who you want to follow.
I think with that, to end that little scene there, Felix would walk up to Lighthammer, take their hand, and I guess you would see a panel of them walking. Like that panel would be them walking away.
Okay. Brian, do you want any more here?
No.
Okay. And Faye, where are you going?
So we see me walk over to another pretty fresh grave. Much less pomp, much less circumstance, way less flowers. One nice wreath, but pretty simple. And we come over and we see that it says Rebecca Sharif, loving mother. And I kneel down in front of it and put my hand on the dirt, and I'm like, "Hey, I know you didn't hear what I said back there, back in the lighthouse, but I didn't mean it. I said that you weren't my mom, that they killed my mom, but you were. It was always you. And I'm so sorry. And I love you." And then I think we see my hand like grip into the dirt. And that is usually a moment where like it would have transformed into the demon hand. And I think we see Faye look down and see that it didn't transform. And then just tears start spilling down from her eyes onto this dirt. And I think we can probably end that scene there.
I think from there, our next panel is this pulled back overhead shot of the like whole cemetery. And we see Faye alone at her mother's grave. We see Ryder, Lighthammer, and Brian walking away. Some people still around. And we see on Carl's gravestone flowers just starting to grow up and around the headstone and out around the grave. Okay, what do you all want next?
I would love a scene with the two teammates. We usually met up at my sanctuary, but I want to like meet up somewhere else. Where would we meet up?
Ryder's got a sanctuary still. If we want to do like purely private.
We also have Lighthammer's massive giant apartment if we want to go there.
We also have trying to think. We're not banned from the Cold War, are we? I said that while I'm crying.
That feels right. No, that feels right. I feel like we have a scene of the three of us at Cold War.
So yeah, we see the three of you at Cold War. Of course, Cole Ward is standing behind the counter.
We've probably already ordered and we're sitting down. And I'm looking at Brian and Ryder and I'm like, so how you two holding up?
Ryder is sitting there and he hasn't even touched his shake because he ordered a strawberry shake. And I want that to be specific. It needs to be a pink shake. And he just looks at Alana and looks at Brian and is like, we did a lot of good. Why does this hurt so much?
Brian's just like poking at his ice cream, not really eating it. This might sound, I guess, a little, I don't know, cliche, but it felt to me like really Carl may have been the most human of all of us. That's really cliche, isn't it?
No, it's not.
I mean, it's a little cliche, but it's true. And I think we see me reach up and like touch the three like massive scratch marks on my face from where the demon clawed me during the transformation.
I keep thinking back to the first time we met him. Do you remember, Faye? The bank?
How could I forget? I met one of my best friends on the same day that I lost another best friend. It's circle of life or whatever, but I wasn't ready to lose someone else.
I'm going to really miss him riding on the back of the bike and in the sidecar. You know, he was the reason I made the sidecar.
I thought you made the sidecar for me. What a jackass.
Okay, I'm laughing. I think that would be actually an in-character laugh where Felix actually starts laughing.
After that, after we get everyone kind of like settling down from the laughter, I'm going to reach forward and take both of you by one hand. I'm across the table. I think it's like the two of you on one side, me on the other. And I'm like, speaking of losing a friend, I'm leaving. I can't stay here right now. I'm sure that I'll be back, but everywhere I go, I see Amber or Carl or Mom. Hell, I even see Mary Louise. And I can't live in a city of memories.
As long as you don't go back to hell, you know I got your back.
Yeah. And I'll call. I mean, I'm not gonna disappear again. And I want to turn to Brian and I'm like, hey, can you do me a favor?
Yes.
Take care of them for me. Ryder, the city, even Lighthammer. Don't let them get into anything too terrifying without me, okay?
He just firmly nods.
Okay.
So, like, he's not too affected by this, seeing as he's only known Faye for, like, one day? Well, or in the time before the funeral.
Yeah, this is very much a, like, take care of the other people, because I don't know you at all. And then I think Alana looks at the two of you and is like, I don't know that there's anything else to say. I think I should probably go now. I love you both. Brian, I know I don't know you that well, but thank you for everything. And Felix, I'll see you soon, okay?
I know. Just come back safe. All right?
Alana's gonna hug Fee.
I love it. I love it. He's going to, of course, return the ember. I think as everyone stands up, Ryder's going to say, we still got work to do, Brian. The city never sleeps. And we've got a lot of wreckage to clear up. Still, meet you back at my sanctuary.
And he just nods.
And he's going to reach down and like tap his buckler and say, Lighthammer.
Lighthammer picks up and is like, hey, I didn't think I was gonna hear from you today.
Yeah, we've still got work to do. Meet me back at the sanctuary.
Ugh, fine.
I'll see you there. And he clicks the button again, and then he just walks out.
So then we turn the page and we see Faye standing, the sun setting like over the buildings of Moon Harbor, and Faye is standing on top of a building, kind of overlooking the park. And I think we just get a couple panels of just like the sun setting and the lights getting dimmer. And then we get like a shadowy figure walking up behind Faye. Then we get a shot from the front, and Supai stands beside Faye. Hey, so you need to talk?
Yeah, I'm leaving, like, the city.
For how long?
I don't know. It's just it's really hard being here right now.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Look, I know we've been through some shit, and I know I messed up, but I would um why is this so hard? This is stupid. Shouldn't be this hard. We've killed demons together. This is stupid. Why am I not able to say words?
And Tsubai turns to you, and I think they like hold their hand out for your hand.
I take their hand really, really tightly.
I think it's hard because you're better at being Faye than Alana.
I don't really want to be either of them anymore.
And they pull you in for a hug.
I hug back really, really tightly.
Don't go away forever. The city still needs you. I need you.
Then come with me. I know we've been through a lot, and I know that I've messed up a lot, and I know that you probably don't trust me right now, but don't leave. Don't leave me behind. Just come with me.
Like they pull back a bit to arm's length to look you in the eyes. Go, I think if I come with you, you're only going to learn how to be Faye again. I'll be here when you're ready.
Okay. But I want you to text me, and I want you to call me, and we'll video chat, and I'm not going to disappear this time. Not like we did. I want to do this right.
We get a big smile. Like, good. Yeah. I've met Faye, and I love Faye. I'm excited to find out who Alana is.
Hey, seems a little late for this, but way back when, I gave you my number, and you never gave me yours. And, like, I still don't have it. We've just, been working together. So, would you do me the honor of putting your number in my phone?
And they take your phone with a big grin. There's a head of them typing, and they hand it back. And I think it just says Cruise with a number. Make sure you use it.
You know I will. And I, pull you in for a really tight hug.
So we turn the page, and our next panel, we see a close-up of Faye laying down, hair spread out on this vibrant green grass. We pull up to an overhead shot, and we see that we're inside Carl's mind sanctuary. Does that work?
Yeah, can I add one thing to that?
Absolutely.
I think when we pull back and we're in Carl's mind sanctuary, there's also landmarks from other places that are important to them. So we see one of the or a bunch of the trees have the runes from Fae Sanctuary carved on them. In the distance, we see parts of the power plant that we destroyed, and I think Bert's couch is just somewhere off around. This is full memory space.
And readers who are looking really close will notice that the coffee and table in front of the couch has definitely been cracked in half and repaired. And Carl, if you want to enter the scene here, feel free.
I think we see a shot from below of just clouds, implying that it's Faye looking up. And I think at that moment, just the goofiest grin comes into the panel, and Carl goes, "Hey there."
Hey, you're looking good.
What form is Carl in at this point?
Good question.
I was thinking OG Carl. I was thinking bug person Carl.
I'm thinking OG Carl too, actually. Yeah, so I think we see that it's original insect Carl, so brown and crawly skin, and he looks at Faye and goes, "So what you doing?"
I'm just sitting, and I'm breathing, and I'm taking a moment. Do you want to sit with me?
Okay. And Carl sits down.
And I think we're sitting side by side, both of us just kind of staring up at the trees and the power plant in the distance and the clouds.
I think we see Hope lumbering by in the distance.
I don't know what I'm going to do without you.
You'll figure it out. You always do.
It hurts so much. I've lost so many people, and you can't be gone, Carl. I can't do this without you. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
I think Carl looks over and hugs her and goes, "You were always the strong one. You can be the strong one again."
I was strong because I had you, and I had Felix, and I had Amber, and I had my mom. I don't know who I am without you all. I don't know who I am without Zilkiev. God, that's so messed up.
I mean, it took me a while to find you, and I was looking for you. I'm sure if you look hard enough, you'll find her too. And I think you'll like her.
And I think I put my head on your shoulder, and I'm like, thank you so much for taking care of me, for being there, and for loving me.
I mean, with you there, that made it easy.
And I think we see Faye, or we see Alana smile, and she kind of sits up and wipes her eyes, and kind of just keeps staring at the sky, and she's like, I think I have to go soon. I don't want to leave.
I don't want you to leave.
Then let's just sit here for a little while longer.
Yeah, I'd like that. Hey, have you noticed that the cloud over there kind of looks like a bunny?
And I think we get a panel of both of us looking up, and then we get a close-up of Faye reaching out her hand for Carl. I assume Carl takes it.
Yeah, of course, of course.
And I think we get a full page of panels of silhouettes of the two of you sitting, just holding hands, watching the clouds float by. And it's just a full page of panels where the two of you are drawn in almost the same position. I think there's a couple panels where Faye's head is leaning on Carl's shoulder, but the clouds are just floating by. And then the last page in the panel, we see this speech bubble coming from off panel that says, ma'am, ma'am. And when we turn the page, we see Faye's hand and someone's hand touching it, waking up in the seat on a train. And this stewardess looks at Faye and goes, are you okay, ma'am? Would you like something to drink or a snack?
Yeah, sorry. Can I get a soda?
Of course. And she reaches down to the straw and pulls out a corn Fanta.
Sorry. If you have one, could I have a novelty straw with that? And I think that's probably the last line of this comic.
We get all our letters to the editors and our credits, and then we get a couple more panels at the end of this. And we see the scene from the beginning of Carl's grave. It's late at night. There's very little light. And we see this large silhouette walk up to the grave, and we hear, "What did they do to you, child of Gaia?" Moon Harbor Heroes is produced by Anthony Sheets and TP Huth, and edited by Anthony Sheets. Anthony can be found on Twitter at Icy New Year, or at icynewyear.com. T is the host of Incubator on Air, a new play podcast available on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, and Google Play. She can be found at T Huth Playwright on Twitter, or TPHuth94 on Instagram. Faces is GM by me, Anthony Sheets. Lighthammer is played by TP Huth. Ryder Typhon is played by Kaido Kane. Kaido is a Twitch personality and loves their 3 mischievous cats. You can find them at the Versian on Twitter, and as Kaido Kane on Twitch.tv. Our logo was designed by Beautiful Beasties. She can be found on Instagram at beastly.doodles or at patreon.com/beautifulbeasties. The music in this issue is Black Vortex by Kevin MacLeod. A link to his website and the license will be in the show notes. If you want to get a hold of us, email us at moonharborheroes@gmail.com or find us on Twitter at moonharborcast. If you enjoyed this issue, please leave us a review on iTunes and tell a friend. Word of mouth and 5-star reviews are really the best way for us to keep bringing these stories to more people. If you'd like to support us financially, check us out on patreon.com/moonharborheroes. Supporting us there will give you access to bonus episodes each month. And thanks for helping us save the world. We'll see you next issue.